All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Sentient Cloud. So, yesterday did some work on fuzz testing as well as showed some of the work I was doing on the gap buffer. And I went ahead and basically turned it into an STL capable data structure so that I could then use it in the text buffer structure, basically have the gap buffer structure be the kind of backing implementation for the larger text buffer. So we'll just go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. So we'll go first to the header. Okay, so let's see. I went through and fixed the naming scheme a bit. So like I mentioned before, I've kind of changed my sort of naming practices. So things are now using the snake case naming. It's not a big deal, but it is something that has changed. I went ahead and put in an insert front and insert back, and my intention is I'm going to use those when I want to do certain pasting operations. So my plan, I haven't implemented this yet. My plan is to have it so that if you press Shift P, so Shift Paste, it will paste after the cursor. If you just press P normally, no Shift, then it will paste before the cursor, like it'll move the cursor along with all the content you're pasting in. Okay, so went ahead and simplified things quite a bit. I changed the names of some of these. So these are the screen information right there. And then I have a gap buffer here for the characters, and then I also have a gap buffer for the lines. So the intention is that each line will be this crap, I just lost that. Each line, each part of the line buffer will be an index to a location in the character buffer, and it serves as offset. So, or it is offset. So, for example, if it's lines that are on the post cursor side of the buffer, then, or the end of the gap, it will index to the end of the buffer. So if you've got a new line right at the very end, then that will be an index of 0 or 1, I guess, depending on how you want to number it. And it will also always have a 0 at the start. So it will never be less than 1, ideally, because it's counting the lines. It has to basically convert between lines after the cursor and lines before the cursor. Lines before the cursor are, I guess, inclusive, I guess would be the way you think about it, like mathematically. So, like if you're at the very top of the buffer, then it's going to have a 0 at the top because that's the start of the line. Okay, let me go to the implementation. Okay, so just some stuff here to load the buffer. And actually, now that I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put in insert front 0, 0, I think. That's just going to be inserting the front, like that one line offset that I was talking about. Okay. So that should work fine. And what's going on here is I'm loading the characters in. It starts by loading them in at the front, and the reason for that is when you read characters, like if you're on Unix, if you're on a Linux system, if you're on Mac OS, I think as well, the number of characters in a new line is always going to be 1. It's different characters. I think for Mac OS they use carriage return, and for Linux they use the new line, the \n. Windows, as some of you may be aware, doesn't really do that, or it can, but I don't think it does by default. It'll actually use 2 characters for new lines in files, so that's a problem, and it's something that kind of makes makes working with Windows a little difficult because the way that I'm figuring out the length of the file is using a system that's technically cross-platform, but doesn't exactly get you the exact numbers. It will get you more than enough, which is really all that's necessary here. Anyway, so characters get read in, and then it goes back and finds all of the new line characters, and from there it will just yeah, it'll just insert all the lines ostensibly. Haven't actually tested it yet. Okay, and then it, it does things like creates the text area and the number column. It calls update frame. So update frame here creates the line numbers that you see here off to the side. It also should print the screen. What else? Normally I would have a portion here that is dealing with the selection characteristics. In this case, I've just decided to ignore that for the moment because that's a little bit more complicated. I'm going to work on that here if I have the time. But all this does is print all the characters that are at the start of the buffer, and then all of the characters that are on the end. Get cursor position just calculates where I should put the cursor. This I may need to adjust this because this is notoriously finicky for me. And then advance. This is one I am going to have to figure out. And I'm not going to be too concerned about it just yet, but it's definitely something that's going to require a lot of work because advancing it's going to require me to manage the line numbers as well. Because like I said, I'm recording line numbers, so in order for this to really work, I have to manage those in this text buffer here. Okay. Okay, so I need to go ahead and fix these real quick because that's not correct. Actually, it should be lines. So lines dot start, and then change this to just start line because that's no longer just called screen start line. And basically, what this is doing is keeping track of the visual location of the buffer, of the cursor. Do lines start, and then it does update frame. That's all fine. Results is not located anywhere. So I think what I need to do is do if it's less than or equal to lines.start, and we'll set it equal to this one. So this is making sure that if I try to go up more characters than is available, or more lines than is available, it'll just stop it right there. Then, and actually, I'll fix that set here. So I just realized, hold on, in both this one and getting distracted. Let's see, buffer instance minus lines.start. No, excuse me, lines.start minus distance. I think all of these need to be actually -1 because I get the distinct impression that it's going to screw things if I don't do it that way. Okay, this can go away because it doesn't need to exist there. Then, no, don't need that. Let's get distance there. And then I'm also going to have to modify lines. Okay, you know, I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Deal with that later. Because right now I'm mostly just kind of figuring out how to make sure all of this stuff compiles properly. And I'll work on the other stuff here. So, okay. I'll just start from the ground up. Okay, move. This one's pretty easy, I think. So what I'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just not gonna include the. I might just make this void. I guess we'll do so if lines dot length is, I want to say like we'll just call it that. Just return because we can't do anything about that. And like I guess ideally that's not even input that would be allowed. I think I'll do it this way. Okay. And then what I'll do is do lines dot insert. Okay. So do lines dot insert. Excuse me, insert. Let's say insert front. Okay, 0, 0, and then line, because that's the index we're looking for. And since we're not actually doing any kind of, we're not actually inserting anything, so it's not going to increase the size, so we don't need to reallocate, so I don't need to check for the return value. Okay, say well, I guess we'll just keep size t, but I'm going to set this to 0. I'll deal with that later. Okay. Okay, so then actually, hold on. You know what? So if line is less than lines dot start, or sorry, if line is greater than, excuse me, then I mean, I need to lines dot advance. Trouble here is that I can't really manage lines the same way I have to manage characters. They're kind of distinct things in many respects. Because you can't just move lines without it screwing with the some of the behavior. almost tempted to make them separate things, like separate structures, because I don't really want to have to do um, all the management. Oh, that's. I guess I kind of have to. Okay. Mm, could do. I guess it makes the most sense to um, put this into advance. Mm, mm, mm. I'm just going to start working on other things for now while I can mull over what the proper way to do this would be. Okay, let's see, we'll do right. Actually, this way. So if start, yeah, is greater than 0, do f right, and here, just make sure to do insert file. Must be non-null. There. Just want to make sure. Do a quick sanity check. Okay. So here we'll do characters buffer characters dot start and if dot and is less than characters capacity. Yeah, right. This is going to be a bit of a long one, so I'll just have to break it up here. So characters buffer at and let's see. Let's buffer dot end one and then characters dot capacity minus characters dot end. And I guess we'll just go put it down one more level. I think that'll work. Yeah, and then yeah, that should be everything. Okay. Selection. This is just going to go to so characters.start. It's going to update the frame. Dart is less. And I'm going to need to modify this because one of the problems I've noticed is that the uh, the copying and pasting is kind of funky. I don't know if that's like basically the locations that it's copying and pasting don't have like a really sane, inclusive, exclusive behavior. So let's do it. So let's go with this. And this needs index. So let's see. Remove front. Let's see. So then that's going to. Interesting. Okay. I think remove front and remove back have different behaviors now, so I am going to have to, let's see. Let's start. I mean, both of them are going to be characters.start, I think. I just don't know if they're going to be quite correct. We'll worry about that later. Okay. Jeez. Hold on. Okay. Start. Again, most of this is just going to be cleanup because I made a substantial number of changes to system, the way things are supposed to work. So back, and that's going to do start as well. Let's go ahead and clean those out because I don't need them anymore. Okay. That doesn't need to be changed just yet. Let's change up get selection real quick here. So, okay, yeah, so this is just going through and replace all these with start. Here. Modify there. Fix scope count to this one. Yeah, that's the last one in there. See, so this is line stuff. this real quick. All right. All right. Now this is sure not compiled just yet. Let's see what we get. We're gonna get a boatload of those. Okay, good, fine. So let's get to. Okay. Okay. Now conversion to const. Oh, because it needs to be a pointer. Okay, I guess I see. Okay, cool. Update. Okay, so update frames being referenced. Cool. So let's go here. Let's start. Go. This needs to let's, I guess we'll just have to do this way. So 0 and then replace this with, okay. Now, where are those update frame calls being made? I think it was like a 500, or no, sorry, not 500, 150. Here we are. So these are just calling the wrong thing. Okay. Oh, these are calling up. There's one. Still calling the old functions. Okay, that's good. For now, I'm just gonna not implement move. Just leave that as is. Inserts. Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. Okay. So what I need is I need to go through and count through all of this. So call this offset. That's going to equal characters dot start minus lines dot buffer. This one. So that's just getting the value at the start. And maybe what I need is functions to just make that easier, because that would actually be kind of helpful. So I think I'll do that. Hold on. Let's go ahead and do that. Start this too. Okay. Go to HPP, and we'll just go in here. And we've got a bunch of stuff here, report stuff. Okay, that's fine. It is theoretically possible. You know what? We'll do it this way. Hold on. The void front, and that is going to, yeah, that's going to return excuse me, buffer start -1, and we'll actually say that it's going to return t. Yeah, so this can actually be there. And I need to make sure that I'm assert. So the assert is going to trigger whenever I try to do this when start so start must be greater than 0. That. And then t back, that's going to return. So basically this will just do, let's see, pass t end. It's just going to return buffer end. So that's all. And then I'll test to make sure that these never trigger at some point, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, back to text buffer. CPP. Okay. So now, let's see. I'm sure there are plenty of places where, yeah, like right here. So this is going to be lines. So we just want the, yeah, that should work. It's also, oh, wait, hold up. That's wrong. I think. No, it's not wrong. That's not wrong. Hold on. Never mind. I'm getting confused. Okay. Yeah, there's no reference to lines there. Okay, so we'll just leave that. Okay. So lines dot start. That's fine. Okay. Okay, we'll leave that as is. Now. Trying to do here. Oh, here's one. Hold on. Let's do it this way. So this needs to lines dot front. It's just not. Oh, shoot, I just realized that. That is very much wrong. Okay, lines dot there. Okay. Those namings, those naming conventions may be a little confusing, but we'll worry about that later. Okay. Make sure we name these different things now. I'm not going to worry about fixing them yet. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be front. Okay. I think we're good there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Just jump there and yep. Okay. This needs to go. Let's see what we get. Okay. Okay, so that's a 38. All right. Let's go through. Yeah. Okay. There's one there. Let's go. Let's go through here, make sure. Right, I need to put in insert front and back. So Steam has no effect. Okay. So I think that's somewhere over here. Where is that located? Ah, there it is. Okay, so we'll go in here. Front. Also make one. Let's have this return 0 for the moment, because it's not going to implement it just yet. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, okay, that's fine. 233. Hold on. 233. Ah, character. There should be characters. Okay, so we got here. Turn result 161. Let's just have this return this. Okay, and the next one was at like 190 something. It's characters. And insert front. Maybe I should actually change this a bit because as things are, it's a little unclear it's a little unclear where exactly that's going to insert and what direction. So might make some adjustments to the naming, but with that later. Okay, let's see. Right. Okay, so that's in 240 something. Okay. So here's what we'll do. We'll do what equals just yet. Okay. Actually, let's do this. Let's go into get buffer.hpp, and there we go. Cool. This is going to just copy, because this sort of thing seems like it happens frequently enough to justify that. So quit. Okay. Characters insert. Right. This should be replaced. Do its front there. And these screen start lines need to be replaced. Go. Okay. I think that's all that I need to include. So let's see what we got. Is there anything else? Size. Right. So this needs to be changed here. So lines dot start. Let's get rid of that. And then same here. It's just gonna be lines dot start. Okay. Okay. Cool. So now we finally reached the point where we're compiling the main file. So now we just gotta hook everything in properly. So let's go to main. So we'll get rid of this. One of the things that I wanted to do by including that testing framework is to help remove the sort of useless testing things in the main. Actually, yeah, we'll do it this way. I think. Let's go like this. Just clean this out. I don't want to go off the screen. One of the problems I noticed with this editor is that going off the screen is kind of a risky thing to do. So get rid of all of these little tests. Clean that up. Go. I think that's everything. Everything that's not supposed to be there. Okay, here we go. Undefined references. That's no fun. Okay. Right. Okay, so we got to go to app CPP. That's all of this. Okay. So now we'll go here. Don't think there's anything in here for the text buffer itself. So that's fine. So here we go. Position needs to be fixed. That's all fine. Okay. That's not relevant. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean these out since I'm here. Old debug stuff does not need to be here. Okay. Process. All right. Here we go. Down is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong there. What else? In selection, that was changed. Let's make sure that that reflects those changes. Advance and retreat, those have changed, but I don't think I need to modify anything. Okay. This is, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Another one. This. It's not going to do anything, but it's, I don't need to change anything there just yet. Okay, insert input. Here's where some stuff's going to happen. Move front, that's fine. Let's delete. That might be. That might be a little bit strange. I'm gonna have to change the naming convention because that's just really, really unclear what's going on. Okay. Insert needs to be changed to front, or insert front, excuse me. Okay. Scope count. Change this to remove back. Just for the sake of my own sanity. Same for front. Select input. Here we go. Some more changes that we made real quick. Up and down don't need to be modified at all. Sure we can save the file. kind of tempted to disable this. Just because I don't really want to risk the possibility of screwing this up while I'm actively working. I guess I'll just live with it, but it's making me a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, that's a selection. Let's see, down, yep, that's fine. Okay. Insert, we'll say insert front. I'm definitely going to change the naming for this because it's way too unclear what's going on. Okay. I think that's all of the changes that app should know about. Okay. So nothing's... Yeah, okay, cool. Let's just close that up and okay, let's open up text buffer again. So now, let's see, we've loaded in a file. I need to, let's see, I think get cursor position is not working quite right. I should know what that's in. That's defined in the header, isn't it? Yeah, get cursor X is defined in the header. Okay, so that's gonna have to change here because that's gonna require some actual we'll give it a size T. It's not likely that that's ever going to be needed, but better safe than sorry. Okay, so now we need to define get cursor X. We'll just put it in somewhere, doesn't matter where. Okay. Guess we'll just put it near where cursor position is located. Cursor X. Okay, and this is going to say that equals 0. And then for I equals, I think it's lines.front. Less than characters.start. And this is just going to iterate through the current line up until we reach the start of the gap. And it's going to count stuff. So if, I think the only thing I really need to care about is if characters.buffer equals a tab character. Tab character, then we got a problem. And I gotta, or not exactly a problem, just let's see, settings dot if I'm not mistaken. It needs to be just added. Hold on. So say this equals, hold up. It's just gonna be position divided by settings.tab width plus times tab width. I think that's correct. Basically just making sure that the tabs are actually not exactly sure how you describe it. like it's going to ensure that it's the correct position. Tabs are a funky thing to deal with. Admittedly, like I prefer tabs just on principle. I think they make more sense for indentation, but they are definitely a funky monster to deal with. Okay, so in this case, otherwise it's just going to be incrementing position. And then at the end, just return position. I suppose should actually put this 1 as you start. I think you would say that you start at that position. I don't know. That's actually kind of weird now that I think about it. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. Oh, because I didn't specify. Excuse me. Make sure that I see that it's okay. Oh, hello. Okay. That's a minor problem. Okay. So what's going on here? I remember the position of that function next time. Okay, so line stop front. So maybe characters maybe the characters are not being properly incremented. Hold on. Might be what's going on here. Okay, so this needs to be put down below, I think. Let's do retreat by 1. But that retreat should be putting start here. Yeah. That's weird. It's very, very weird. Hmm. Three. Mm. Okay. So I'm just going to have it tell me. Just do debug. I think that'll work. I just want to know. Let's start. That'll do the trick. Just make sure that I is actually correct. Like that. Okay. And then okay, interesting. So why is that doing that? It's trying to open. Why is it not? Is that not working? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. That's me being stupid. Okay. Okay. So this should be. That's why. Because it's basically this number is being decremented in real time while I'm operating on this stuff. So that explains a lot. Okay, that's more helpful. Let's see if that fixes the problem. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So that's well, that seems to be. I mean, it's compiling at least, and it's reporting position correctly while there's nothing actually happening and I'm not moving around. But I mean, at least it's doing it, so that's good news. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. So thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you again in the next stream. So have a great day.